Hey guys, it's coreross and welcome to Busting Rainbow Six Siege. Today we are revisiting Jackal's Mythbuster episode, of course, because he is getting reworked. Now on the surface, this looks like a very simple rework because he still fundamentally looks like he actually works the same, but the changes make it so that you're probably going to entirely change how you would play as Jackal, but also how you would play against him as well. And of course the devs are hoping that what's going to happen is you are less frustrated when you're playing him, and as such you're not going to ban him all the time in ranked. So let's run through how he works now and kind of clarify it as well, because I think the first patch notes for this were confusing. So you can scan the footprints as normal, and of course the older the footprints are, the less pings you will get. That's a new addition, which means if you want to get more pings, you need to get fresher prints. As such, you're going to have to put yourself more at risk in order to get those fresher prints. But a big difference is that either you can scan the prints to get your pings for your entire team, or you can simply track the footprints visually. So just follow them wherever they go. Now, the reason for this is because when you now scan a footprint, you actually delete all the prints all the way up to where the current defender is standing. As such, it means if you scan the prints, you get the pings of course, but the prints are entirely gone. You cannot scan them again. You're going to have to go and find new prints that were made after the scan of the original prints, making it so that you can't just sit at a pair of footprints, scan them, let your team hunt down the roamer, and if they don't find that roamer straight away, you can then scan again. So for the roaming defender, it's going to be a far easier job. So it dramatically changes how he's played, even though it looks very similar. So let's start with some of the myths. So Cav's silent step is able to leave no footprints behind when she's using her ability, and if she is being pinged, it also stops those pings from registering. So it's double whammy for Cav. Of course, it's still the same as it was before, but with this new way that Jackal works, I think a lot more people are actually going to be following footprints. So this should make her even more of a big counter to Jackal than she was before, and because she can, go into a room and then she can put silent step on, she can come out of that room, she can totally leave that fake trail. And I think that's something we wanted when he was originally released. We kind of figured that would be a thing, making fake trails, whereas it really wasn't, because the pings are just really efficient. Whereas with this change, making the pings less efficient, it might actually make it a legitimate strategy and hopefully add a bit more complexity to the whole element. And for both, that is confirmed. Another myth to revisit is scanning from above. So when he first came out, his range was quite limited, whereas that got buffed over time. And as such, it is still a very good range, which means you can scan from above and actually get tracks on the enemy. So that is confirmed. Scanning footprints from below. So it was possible to see and scan them from below. I think when he first came out, you couldn't see them, but you could scan them. Whereas with the rework, you cannot scan them and you cannot see them. Even though Cav ran over this opening, we can actually see that if we go upstairs, we can actually see those footprints just kind of floating in mid-air, but we couldn't see anything from below. Now, although Cav is able to stop putting down footprints while silent step is on, it's also possible for other operators to not put down prints as well by just going prone. Now, of course, you're probably not going to spend most of the game moving around the map prone, especially if you are a roamer. However, this does mean, again, you can go into a room to leave some footprints, then you can go prone, sneak out of that room, and then wait for Jackal to potentially come along following your footsteps, and you can ambush him. So it's confirmed, even though this myth hasn't changed from previous, it does mean, because of the way people might start to play Jackal, that it could actually be very relevant in the future. Now, because we're going to be getting this risk reward element added into Jackal, we need to talk about footprint types. So you guys are actually going to scan the correct people and not waste it on someone who's anchoring in the objective, who maybe ran up earlier and reinforced a hatch. Now, this is the artwork I originally actually made for my previous episode on Jackal way back in the day, and I was thankful I still had these, so I actually drew these out at the time. So these are the 4 footprints that we have in Rainbow Six Siege. We have the trainer, which is mostly on the light operators, however that is not a rule, as Echo also has the trainers as well, and then we go all the way up to the heavy operators. It used to be the one on the right hand side was just for the Spetsnaz, that's no longer the case, and we have the other ones which are on 2 2 armor and 3 armor as well. So even though they do kind of give you an idea of how heavy the operator might be, it is definitely not a set rule, so you shouldn't go by that. Now let's have a little look at these in game, and then I'll put together a graph that actually shows every single footprint for every operator, which you'll be able to refer to very easily. So here we go. To begin with, we're going to drop in Chachanka. Now these used to be prints that only Spetsnaz and recruits had back in the day. So I thought it'd be cool to have a look at with the new operators now that we have, because I haven't actually bothered to check their footprints and see what they have. So here's Echo, just to show that even though he has the lighter print, he has, of course, 3 armor. So this shows that it's not a set rule who has what, but it's a good kind of basis to go on. So here's Kaid. He actually has this Spetsnaz and recruit print, which is very rare on operators, but kind of matches in with his heavy armor for sure. Then we have Mozzie. So Mozzie, being a 2 armor operator, he has the kind of in-between one. This is another print that looks quite nice, and again, it's kind of that in-between kind of print where it looks like it could be on a heavy operator, but certainly fits in with that slightly lighter and slightly faster speed. Then we have Warden. Now Warden, again, has the kind of medium ones that Mozzie has, and that matches up with his new 2 armor rating. Then we've got Goyu, who has those really big, again, what used to be only for the Spetsnaz and recruit. Then we've got Jaeger, just to show that he, being a light operator, has those light kind of trainers on. And this is the thing, right? If you're going to track people now and you need to pick and choose, you got to be aware of which prints are probably the best ones to choose. These ones, though, are Valkyries, and they look like they're a heavy armor operator, but of course she isn't actually that. However, Mira also has these footprint types, and of course she is 3 armor. So here is a really nice quick graph that you guys can refer to that shows every footprint type up to the current season, and kind of cool to have a look at the different prints. I do wonder with 100 operators if they'll add in more print types as time goes on, or they'll stick with these ones and just kind of vary out throughout all the new operators. But certainly very cool to actually go back and revisit these myths for Jackal. I do think he's fundamentally changed. I do see definite potential for him being less frustrating, but I'm curious to see if the pick and ban is going to go down or not. What do you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you next time.